I totally forgot. So thank you for saying that. We are recording. All right, so I would like to practice the first one we talked about. We'll go through all those. So we reached out to somebody, or we got a referral and we're talking to someone and they want to know what we do, but at some point they're like, oh no, like I've got a great salesperson, like it's one of the best ones. I don't really know if they would want this, like, or do this, like, what can you really teach them? I'd like to handle that objection.
Okay.
Who wants to be the client?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, so 4 minutes. Melissa, you want a time? My goal is to widen the perspective and maintain the interest and desire, in spite of the fact that they've misunderstood that this is all about making their BDM better.
Okay.
Sound good? Okay. All right, so what do you think, Dre? You want to give me an objection?
Yeah. So Jeremy, I really appreciate your time and thank you for everything that you had to say. I just don't think that our BDM really needs additional training. I mean, they're crushing it as it is today.
I'm glad to hear that, Treya. It's exciting. Not everyone we talk to is experiencing those results. So I love hearing that. All we do is invest in the sales process. So it warms my heart that you guys are doing so well. So you mentioned your BDM, Sal. I just want to ask a couple questions to see if we can give Sal anything that would, make his life even easier. Is Sal a coachable person? Is he like always looking to level up, or does it seem like kind of Sal knows everything and doesn't need any help?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think to me, I feel like Sal is always trying to think outside the box and go above and beyond. And I mean, he's getting involved in all sorts of different events to try and build that referral network and, taking other people's ideas and trying to make them his own.
Yeah, that's really helpful. So the only reason I bring that up is, I think that sometimes people have a knee-jerk reaction to the idea that a coach only comes in when somebody needs help. But, everyone knows the story. When Tiger Woods was the #1 golfer, he had 4 coaches, and none of those coaches could be a better golfer than Tiger Woods, but each of them were working on something that would keep him at the top of the game. And so while we're not saying Sal's deficient in anything, if he has the mindset, and if you think it would retain him, if you think that him leveling up and experiencing personal and professional growth would be something that would keep him engaged and performing on all cylinders, then I wouldn't want you to walk away from Renscale just because you think he doesn't need any improvement.
I mean, he's, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically Sal kind of I let him run the operation and let him do his thing. And obviously he's performing. And so I just really have never even thought about that, but maybe that's something for you to talk to Sal about.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd be happy to do that. I mean, that's why, when we started this call, I asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, how concrete were your goals? And you told me it was a 6, that, you kind of don't really have goals. You just know that if you're closing at least 5 doors a month, you guys are good. I asked on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to hit those goals? You felt really good about that. And then of course, I asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, how exciting are those goals for you to move your business forward? I just, I get a sense that you guys think that you're at the pinnacle and that we can move that needle up. And if that's above your ambition, if it's above your growth goals, I don't want to push that on you, but I want you to leave this call knowing that there is another level and that you're ready to move up, that we have a system to get you there. Does that make sense?
It does.
So one last question. Oh, sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
So one last question. Can you tell me about the system you have in place to generate more referrals? Do you guys have a referral-based system with a name, with a compensation, and that you guys actually forecast the amount of referrals you're going to get each month?
I can't say I do, but Sal might.
I'd like you to talk to him about that. I think that's one of the blind spots a lot of our clients have. Us even here at Renscale, we just recently went through our 11 systems and discussed that. And we said, hey, we're not really soliciting referrals as actively as we can, even though our clients are raving fans and they're telling everybody else about us. And so one of the things we're helping our clients with is actually being able to systematize referrals. So even if Sal doesn't need to level up, I still think there's some areas we can help you in if growth is really your ambition right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely we always want to be successful in the growth department. I guess I just never have thought that we had an issue.
Stop.
That is.
4 minutes. What'd you hear, Melissa?
I heard, so first of all, you used Sal's name, which was wonderful. And then you started asking questions about sale number one, probably to see like how much the owner knew. But like, what is Sale doing? What type of systems? You shared a story about Tiger Woods and having 4 coaches, and no one would be better than him. So that was great. I loved the phrase you said, I wouldn't want you to walk away because you thought. And it was more than, it's just like an easy way to keep going with the conversation. And then you went into the 11 systems. So you were questioning, which I'm guessing is how we are going to overcome all these objections. Do you have a system? Because it's not about just thinking you're the best or leveling up, like you can systematize certain things. So Jerry mentioned like Sale is out there networking. So you probably thought referral system, challenged that, and you went into that. And she didn't know the answer. So very good.
That is the punchline. It occurred to me how useful the 11 systems are, because we know no client, no customer, including us, is ever done with the 11 systems. They can always be improved. They can always level up. And I think that, we do want to reach out, and we don't want to default to the academic 11 systems when they have a clear pain point. Like, I don't know if my BDM's working. I can't grow. I'm losing clients. Like, don't even bring up the 11 systems, right? Go all into that. But when they're kind of like, yeah, we're pretty good. Like, I think everything's fine. Just really wanted to kick the tires and see what you guys did. I want to then raise the bar and be like, okay, do you have a system for referrals? How do you guys collect customer stories? What are the best epic legends of you guys succeeding for your customers? And can everybody in your sales team share those? Like, I start to move into the 11 systems, and then people will be like, okay, wait, I'm not calling them because I'm broken. I'm calling them because I want to be the best. And I want to be Tiger Woods with 4 coaches, the #1 golf player in the world. And I want to make sure that I'm not under investing in our growth.
So I'm curious too, Jeremy, because after going through the 11 systems, like with Rob, and I know he's a smaller like company, he's the one that did Door Grow and didn't see a lot of value in it. And so basically I'm going to go through this 11 systems of sale mastery to basically show him like, this is our focus, like we're sales driven. This is where the money is made, and this is how we're different. I can't tell you what he did with Door Grow by any means, but to just really hone in for him, even though he doesn't financially have the ability to hire a BDM right now, but allowing him to like really dissect, this is what I should be paying attention to. Is that fair? Is that the good route to go?
I think your question actually transitions us into another objection you guys brought up, which is, I'm not ready to hire anybody yet. And so therefore, can RenScale even help me? Right. And that's really that's the same objection. As we always say, there's a finite number of objections, and there may be 50 shades of gray of every objection, but it's really like you can categorize it into the same root cause. And, being clear on that before you start addressing it is key. And I think that's what you're bringing up is he's like, oh, I'm really small. I'm smaller than your clients, not ready to hire somebody yet. Can you still help me? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Is there any nuance in addition to that, or is that really just the issue?
Not really. The only thing that was like out of the ordinary was the Door Grow situation, really.
Yeah.
And so basically that turned into, well, I paid them to do something like this for me and it wasn't successful. So basically like, this is how we're different.
Got it. Which is fair. We talk about all the time, the nuance, right? I know I'm on my color analogies today, but they're looking at business as like the 8-pack of crayons that you buy when you're a kid. And we know real life is, 264 pack of crayons. There's not just one blue and one red. So they're looking at a competitor of ours and being like, oh, they help you grow, we help you grow, therefore you guys do the same thing. But we know the nuance, right? We're laser focused on sales. We're helping them with their prospecting systems. We're helping with their sales language execution. I've yet to see another competitor drill down and practice as much as we do and do what we're doing on this call. So it's important to, always come back to that nuance. Dogs are probably going to go crazy because the donation company's picking up some stuff we've donated and left on the front door. So they have a big diesel truck outside. So just a heads up. So let's practice that. Let's practice what to say when somebody just thinks they're not ready for us. They've simplified our 264 pack of crayons down into an 8 color, and they're just like, oh, I'm not ready to hire, therefore I'm not ready to talk to Red Scale. Sound good? All right, who wants to be the salesperson on that one?
I'll do it.
All right, Melissa will do it.
I would love to hear you do all these because I'll learn from you, but I will go in and.
All right, no, I'll do it. That's fair. That's fair. And then we'll reverse it and we'll do this because we're moving pretty quick. So, all right. So Drea, you have a very clear concept. Give Melissa the rundown. Who is she going to be as the prospect?
Do you just want to use Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. So Rob is about 50 doors, and he's used Door Grow in the past, basically because he is a one-man show, obviously is looking to grow, and he would love to hire a BDM, but he's just not quite there yet. And so basically, how is Rent Scale different than Door Grow? Because I wasted my money there.
Okay. So wants to grow, just not looking as basically the solution of hiring a full-time salesperson is off the table, but still wants to grow and is still ready to invest in that if we can convince him that it's valuable.
Yes. And eventually, because I broke it down to, great, then let's start here, because you can start here and be ready for it when you are.
All right. So Melissa, as the salesperson, my goal in 5 minutes is to learn as much about what you've tried before and help you understand why it maybe worked or didn't work, or maybe what was missing. I want to learn as much as I can about why you were not successful when you attempted this the first time.
Okay.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So throw me the objection, Melissa.
Yeah, so I love the idea of hiring a BDM. It seems like that's what everyone's doing to, take their companies to the next level, but I don't know if I'm ready for that right now. That's a big investment from what you just told me, and adding on an additional employee. I don't think I'm there, especially 50 doors. I feel like I need to do some more myself first.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Some of our clients are ready to just, kind of skip the step where they are the rainmakers for their business and they dial it in because they just know this is not an area that they want to be spending time in, or potentially it's just an area they're not very strong at, which we all have to be, aware of our strengths and weaknesses and really invest as a business owner in our unique strengths that other people don't have. So we work with a lot of clients, Melissa, that are not ready to hire a BDM yet. And what they're looking for from us is to understand how to generate more opportunity in the marketplace, B, stand out so that they can convert more of that opportunity, and C, just become much more effective as a sales function in general so that they can start to forecast their growth and not just wake up every day and wonder if they're going to add any new clients the next month or the month after that. So it sounds like you worked on this before. I have a couple questions, if that's okay. Number one, I'm curious, what worked and what didn't work from that program?
Well, it seemed like they helped me, I don't even know what they do, put a little campaign in for leads, which, that was nice. I don't really know how many deals I closed because of that though. So everyone talks about automation, right? So I was attracted to that, but yeah, I'm not quite sure I closed much from just implementing a campaign into my CRM. And then they put together a little playbook with me, which is nice too, because when I hire a BDM, they could use that. So I mean, I have some takeaways, but I don't know if it actually helped me add more doors right now.
Okay, that's fair. So first thing I hear is kind of a lack of certainty and clarity on tracking what's working, what's not. So, that's definitely something we want to be doing with you, is kind of benchmarking exactly how many people are coming into the funnel, where are they moving to the next step, where are they falling out? Because we want you to have full, transparency and awareness of the sales process, the velocity, how fast is it moving, how effective is it? So it's definitely, I hope that if anyone ever asks you that question, Melissa, 6 months after you hire us, you've got much more concrete answers. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm not trying to sell you anything you already have. I'm just trying to really understand what you already have in place and how we can complement that or catalyze that to expand it. And so my next question is, did you do any work on your ideal customer? Do you feel like you've got a really strong sense of who you're built to serve and how you're best built to serve them?
I think so. I think I knew that before working with DoorGrow. And then they just asked me some questions and yeah, we were on the same page.
Okay. And not to challenge you, but can you articulate it to me? Is it super clear or is it vague? Like, tell me, be honest with me, because I'm doing a little bit of our consulting product with you right now, just to make sure that we're not selling you anything you don't need.
Yeah, so definitely someone who has at least 2 properties would be ideal. Single duplexes, I don't want any big apartment complexes, or just, I like the smaller kind of owners who are accidental or something like that. Rent range, I would like to see it around like 1,500 to 2,000 or more, 1,500 minimum. And then within 30-mile radius of my office, and just someone who's not going to call me all the time with issues. Like, they trust me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Someone with the high degree of delegation, right? So they're not going to feel like they do your job better than you. That's super important. So you said 30 miles of your office. Do you have an easy way to communicate that to a prospect? Can you package that up so that if I'm calling you, I know if I'm a good fit for you without Googling where your office is?
I'd probably ask them their zip code, and I think I'm pretty familiar with the zip codes.
Okay, got it. All right. So there's a set of zip codes that you manage in. You guys talked at all about owner mindset, how many property, I'm sorry, you told me how many properties, how long they've owned the properties. Did you guys go into that at all?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, got it. And then last question on the type of property. Do you guys talk about the goals? I mean, do you feel like you've got a clear sense of the goals that your clients are trying to accomplish by being real estate investors? Okay.
Time's up.
All right. So I was going into consulting there, but trying to walk you through it, understand what you did wrong. So what were your thoughts, Drea?
So I really loved how many questions you asked, of course, every time. I don't ever think there's too many. But you also gave affirmation after each one, but then also explained from the rent scale perspective too. So it was a matter of asking a question, affirming what they said, and then also explaining the rent scale side. So that way they don't feel like they're being attacked by any means. And then I really like how you used A, B, and C, listing things out, because just mentally people see that better and hear it better. And then yeah, just those were my takeaways.
Anything I could have done better? Was I stuck in the weeds anywhere or focused on the wrong thing? What were you thinking that you were watching?
I don't think so, mainly because it's just a matter of building the, you were coming across as a trusted advisor. Like, you've been here before, you've talked to the clients that in their past, you know who this person is. And so basically it's just a matter of building that relationship with them, because they didn't have a good experience with the last people. So building that relationship, and then also just letting them know that you've been here, you've seen this, and you know what needs to happen. That's how I felt if I was the person you were talking to.
To describe the move or the play was when people are, wounded, right? They've had a bad experience before and they're throwing up a legitimate objection. Rather than immediately hit it head on, I'm just like, oh, you may be bringing up a really good point here. Let me I'm on your side. Let me ask a couple more questions. Like maybe this won't work for you. And I'm hoping that disarms it. And again, I'm moving from the 8-color crayon box to the 264 color. And I'm in there to like, oh, this isn't just the same thing. Like there's a lot more to this. And actually my problem is X, Y, and Z when I really thought my problem was A, B, and C, right? So there's no way we're going to get that done in 5 minutes, but you know, that's where I was, at some point, Melissa, I was going to say, so I'm guessing when you get on a phone call, you basically say, hey, just so you know, here at Mango Tree Property Management, we help people within 30 miles of downtown Philadelphia who are first or second time landlords who have a goal of doing X, Y, and Z. And here's why we're best suited to serve them, right? I would literally like throw out something and I would just say, my guess is this is what it sounds like when you're on a call. And I know it's nothing like what it sounds like when they're on a call. And that's either going to resonate with them or it's not, but I'm going to try it. So a lot of the undertone was I was never making you wrong. I was agreeing with you and I was making some assumptions. I was filling in some gaps, hopefully. And I was leading you to realize like, wow, like there's like, I'm playing at a 3rd grade level and other people are playing at a 7th grade level. And now I understand what that looks like. So that was my backstory.
Yeah, really, the one thing that you said that you're not trying to sell them what they already have, but basically expand upon that and fill those gaps. I really liked that part too.
I think I said that like 4 times.
I only heard it once, but.
Well, the expand, but I think 4 times I said, I just want to make, I was asking for permission to get more information. I kept saying, I just want to make sure I'm not selling you anything you already have or don't need, right? I kept saying that to create the permission slip to ask deeper and deeper questions.
Right.
I think, you know, it's important to remind people why you're asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
Any feedback, Melissa?
No, I agree with everything Jerry said. I think like the like mindset or psychological part of it of almost like letting them know that it's okay that you invested in something and not being like, oh, that was so stupid. You did that. You only got that. You only got that. Like you were building them up, which is like they don't want to be destroyed. But also like putting like spot checks in it was great. And I'm sure you would have kept going with this. The one thing I was like thinking was like asking about the goal setting first, only because it was like, the first thing I said was, I'm not sure like if I got any business from it. And so it's like, well, what were you tracking? I think that would have been a good opener too. But I mean, it's just a conversation. So you're grabbing all the different things that we do in the blueprint. So I thought it was good.
Great point. I definitely could have gone with the tracking. I kind of brushed over that, you know, and said, I hope if you talk to someone like us 6 months later, you would be able to answer those questions with more certainty, right? That's future pacing, right? Which we talk about all the time. I'm putting us in the future and clarifying the future so that I can sell towards that point. Melissa, you heard me on the call with Justin and RPM First Choice. And I said we could do a whole breakdown on that call. And Dre, you were not there, but they were very like, oh, we want to hire one now and then a second one. And they talked about Melissa, how great she was. And I literally used her as an example. And I said, Justin, 6 months from now, how many Melissas do you want on your team, right? And then, because, you know, they were being very vague. And I was going to give Melissa the exact timeline on first we do X. And if we do it well, then we have the permission to sell Y, right? And I made it very colorful by saying, how many Melissas do you want on your team? Because he had already told me that like he loves dealing with Melissa and he wants somebody like that. So that's future pacing right there. That's what I was doing on that call. And then I was reverse engineering. Hey, you told me from the beginning, these are your goals and I've shown you a plan. Do you want us to keep helping you or not? And that's always my go-to sales strategy.
So out of that last call, last practice too, as you know, with the idea of tying in the 11 systems of sales mastery, and granted it was only 5 minutes, but where it used, where was that connection? Just out of curiosity.
I didn't even have to bring it up on the call. I was totally, if you remember my goal, and this is why I love our practice framework, is I had to tell Melissa what my goal was. So I had to say out loud, my goal is to learn as much about what worked and what didn't, where you're at, what you've tried, so that I know what to focus on. So in 5 minutes, I was not ready to start prescribing. I never left the discovery phase.
Yes. Okay.
I was doing
Andrea, to your point, like I think if it's like, I'm just envisioning some of these conversations I've had with people who are like around the 50 doors, and it's like, how do you sell the blueprint to be super attractive and actually like not just a sales system and a sales process and a 16 touch campaign and all the things. So I pulled up the sales system, 11 systems, and I was thinking questioning about like a lead conversion system would be one. Because they might like just have it in their head or some sort of spreadsheet. Like, are you doing the same thing each and every time? The other one I was thinking was goal setting and measurement, because we do that with the quarterly door planner forecast. And then even time management, like as an owner, like, okay, so if you are going to be growing the business and you're not going to hire a BDM, how are you, like, just diving into that? Like, are you going to be able to block activities off in order to like get you to where you need to be? And then the other one I was looking at was even customer retention, right? So if you're smaller, it's so important when you bring on a new door, right? So what are you doing to keep that one client happy if they go and purchase another property and bring that on to you? So like those were the ones I was like looking at for almost like blueprint to dive into a little bit.
Perfect. Yes, that was exactly what I was looking for. So I appreciate that.
You got it.
Yeah, that was really the initial intention for today, was to remind you guys that always focus on solving the problems they bring to us. But when you're presented with somebody who doesn't necessarily see a problem, revert to, mastery, right? 11 systems of mastery. Like very few people out there are going to be black belts. Even us, as we did our own audit, we have work to go. Once we fix all those things, we'll grow, we'll have more work to do. So I think it's just a great opportunity when you're on that call and you're feeling like, don't have any pain, don't have any problems, don't disagree with them, and say, just so you're not walking away before I know that we can't help you. I'm just curious, what is your referral system look like? How do you forecast how many referrals you're going to get per month? Right? They're going to be like, we don't do that. And so you say, okay, just so I know what's that? That's why I love the 1 out of 10. I mean, I say this to you guys all the time. If you get me on a call tomorrow, I'm going to do the 3 questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how to find your sales goals for the next quarter. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you going to hit them? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about those goals? Are they meaningful, or are you just basically phoning it in? If I know that from an owner, those 3 questions, I know everything I need to unlock everything I'm going to tell them. Because if they're like, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'll be like, that's amazing. Can you come train my team? Here are the problems we're having. We're trying to systematize referrals. We're trying to forecast level, we're literally trying to double sales this year, which is huge because we've been plateaued at the same level the last 2 years. Can you tell us how you're doing that? Like, I mean, no one's going to say that. If they do, that's literally the energy I'm going to show up with. But they're probably going to be like, you know what? Like, I'm not that confident we're going to hit it, or I'm really confident we're going to hit it because that's all we do every month. I'm not that excited about it, right? Would you like to have a bigger vision of the future? Would you like to be able to forecast a number that could create a dramatically better future for you and your team? If so, we'd like to break down the process to do that. So that's always where I'm coming from.
Yes.
All right. Sounds like we learned a little bit today.
Yeah, I'm having like this aha moment of like, I think it's pretty, I don't want to say easy, but it's easier to sell like someone who's ready to hire a BDM, or someone who has a BDM that needs training, right? Like that's the BYE, that is the top performer blueprint. But the 2 that I do have the most difficult with are the ones who are like, I'm so good, my BDM doesn't need anything, I was just exploring what you guys do, or I'm too small, and then you try to talk to them about a blueprint when you just excited them about like a BDM opportunity. And it's like, so the 11 systems, like just the way you did it the first time and like really dove into that, like I'm totally going to be using this for blueprint only, which I mean, I'll use it like like you said, not always, but when you're stuck, like blueprint only, this is a great thing, especially at the situation Drea just shared about, like, they use DoorGrow. Okay, like, all right, well, like, what about your like lead system did they help you? Like, this is exciting because I usually am a little stuck on like the small people and getting them really excited about like the blueprint process. So
Yeah, I wouldn't call them small people. They're just early in the process.
I call them small people. I won't call them that to their face.
No, they're small businesses. And yes, that's the 11 systems. This is where, you know, from the early days, I've rejected, you know, Jordan and I would talk about this all the time. Like, I've rejected if they're like not ready for it, they're not doing this, like, you got to play within their boundaries. I'm like, no, just show them what's possible and show them that all of the pain they're experiencing are just symptoms of the disease, of the illness. And that illness is that they're not investing in their sales process. They are not clear on who their target customer is. They don't have killer messaging that just stands out like a lightning bolt and attracts exactly that person. They're not good at executing that message. They have no reps, they have no practice, they have no playbook. And then, and only then, do you expand your marketing, right? Only then do you start investing in marketing, because you're able, you know, you're basically like the champ that's ready to take on all challengers because you know your target market, you know your message, and you know how to execute it. So it always comes back to that. And they think, unfortunately, that it's just a marketing problem. I just need more leads. I just need more at bats, you know, but they're not ready. They have no compelling message. They don't know who they serve and why they're best built to serve them. And they don't know how to execute it and handle all these objections like we're handling today. This right now, what we're doing is basically a manifestation of the execution phase.
Well, how awesome would it be for us to have this practice today and I close Rob on Friday?
Yes.
So that would make a good Facebook story.
Pretty sure it's going to happen.
Yes.
All right, guys, I always appreciate you. Let me know what you need. We've got a couple weeks left and we're making a big push, but I'm feeling really good about it.
Thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.